I am here in Chicago, and I have two guests from California, my two mini-mes, my big mini-me and my little mini-me back there. And we are going to try three of the most popular pizzas, deep dish pizzas from Chicago. Okay, pizza number one is from Pequod's. Okay. Oh, look at this. Look at this cheese. Ready? Look at that. Yeah. Looks good. All right. Now, one of the things about Pequod's that makes it very unique, if you look at this pizza here, is see the edge of that pizza? This edge here is burnt crust. Now, I know people say don't eat burnt food because the carcinogens are bad for you, but this burnt crust pizza is really, really famous in these parts. All right, so let's try. All right, piece for you. Okay, it's hot. Be careful. It's hot. Yeah. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot.
Thank you.
Okay, it's hot. Okay, give me your thing. Oh, it's gonna be
cheesy.
too big. Yeah. Okay.
Pretty good so far.
It's very cheesy.
All right. Oh, it's really hot. Okay. All right, give me your thing. All right, can you hold this for a second? Okay, so I can give this. Okay, it's really hot. Okay. Oh, no, let me put this pizza on there. Okay. Give it to mini-me in the back. Okay. All right. So again, as you can see, there's a lot of cheese in here. Look at that. Yeah. Okay. Let's try it.
Do some meatballs or sausage.
Mm-hmm. So, to make sure that this taste test is similar, I got sausage only. Okay, sausage only for Pequod's, for Lou Malnati's, and also for Giordano's. The crust is, it's almost like a cake. You know, like, you ever have pound cake? And when pound cake is kind of dried a little bit, that's what the crust tastes like.
Cheese is great.
The cheese is excellent. Okay, now I'm gonna have it from the back. See this burnt crust here? It's a little bit of a burnt crust. So, one thing about this burnt crust is that, you know how like real burnt crust, if it's like they burn it intentionally, but they kind of lightly, I guess maybe they use a flame or something, but it's not so dark tasting. Now, one thing about deep dish, people who are native to this city, the native Chicagoans like myself, you notice that we almost never order vegetables. A true deep dish Chicago pizza eater will order just pepperoni or sausage. And the reason is that if you put green pepper, mushroom, onion, maybe one is okay, but if you put more than one vegetable in particular, the water goes down into the crust. So the crust gets soggy. These chunks of sausage, it's almost like a meatball. So what do you guys think about this pizza so far? Pequod, this is your first time, right?
I'd say this tastes really similar to Lou Malnati's, but it definitely has its own unique texture, especially with the crust.
I just took a bite of the back crust and tastes burnt, but in a good way.
Yeah, it's not so...
It's like interesting.
Yeah, it's not so burnt tasting. I mean, it is burnt, but...
It's like crispy.
It's very crispy. It's almost like a meatball, right? It's like a sausage meatball. Excellent. This crust, a lot of locals. Now, Pequod's is not very famous, and it's not known nationally, and they only have 2 stores here in Chicago, one in Morton Grove and one in the city, but locals, we love this place. We absolutely love this place, and the lines are always so long.
They should open up more stores.
It really tastes like dried pound cake. It's got a little bit of sweetness.
Yeah. The crust is definitely the most unique part.
And their cheese, it's like cheesier than some other places.
Really crunchy crust.
There's a perfect amount of cheese.
Oh.
It's a lot, but
I think it's kind of a lot, actually. It seems cheesier than the other place. So that's Pequod's, okay? Pizza number 1, Pequod's. Now we head to pizza number 2. Ready for our second slice from Giordano's. Now, Giordano's, they're deep dish, but they're kind of a stuffed deep dish. And if you look at them, if you look at it, notice, oh, the crust looks a little bit different, okay? I'm going to now,
Yeah.
it looks very hot. Oh, look at this. Look at this cheese, look at this.
Oh my goodness.
should I just like some
There's
Parmesan?
so much cheese.
No. We'll just do the pizza, okay?
I cannot start with this. I gotta cool it down.
Yeah, it's gotta be cooled down. Oh my gosh, it's hot. Oh, it's really hot.
Foil, please.
Okay. Give it even a smaller piece.
Thank you.
All right.
The cheese is already looking very long.
Well, I can't even keep my fingers in one spot for too long.
Oh, so hot. This is a little bit more like a pie crust.
In fact, Giordano's may have more cheese. Well, definitely has more cheese than the first pizza.
Huh? Wow, I don't remember Giordano's being this cheesy.
Now think about how the cheese pizza would be.
Oh.
We got sausage.
One difference is that Pequod's, you could tell that their crust is kind of sweet, whereas this pizza, I don't think the crust is sweet. It's a little bit. It's like a pie that's not that sweet, and it's more flaky. Pequod's is a little bit more crumbly, again more like dried pound cake, whereas this one is a little bit more like a pie, but again not sweet. Also, I think if you look at Giordano's, look at their sausages. See the sausage? They have chunks of sausage like throughout the whole pizza instead of like, you know, big circular meatball type sausages.
And the sausage is not on the top. It's in the middle.
Good point. So the sausage here is in the middle. So the good stuff, the fat from the sausage goes inside the crust.
Which makes it easier to eat.
So much cheese.
Oh, this is man. I totally forgot that this place was super cheesy.
I think they may have changed.
So I've been eating at Giordano since I was younger than both of these guys. It's way cheesier than I remembered it.
Crust tastes like normal crust. Nothing special.
Well, it's kind of, to me, it's a little bit pie-like.
It does remind me of pie.
Now, what makes this a little bit different, Pequod's, on average, I would say Pequod's is slightly sweeter, but this sauce is more tangy. It has kind of a tangy, it's like a tangy barbecue taste, I think. It's kind of tangy. Also, an excellent pizza. Now, one of the things, as I said, is that even here, what Giordano's does is, even though their sauce is on top, because the pizza sauce does not come in contact with the crust stays crispy. So if you do like vegetables on your pizza, I would recommend getting something like spinach, because if you end up getting like green peppers, onions, mushrooms, the water from the vegetables will soak down to the crust, and the crust won't be as crispy, it'll be more soggy. Giordano's, world famous. Now, Giordano's has locations all over America, and I've had it in California, I've had it in Nevada, I've had it in other places, and I think the taste is pretty consistent. I think it's pretty consistent. Pizza number 3 was my favorite growing up. Now, I haven't had it in at least a year, but it is Lou Malnati's. Okay?
You may have heard from the spoon.
Lou Malnati's, okay? Lou Malnati's also, they have kind of a unique take on the deep dish. If you look at that, look at their crust. Now, what makes Lou Malnati's unique is they use a beer battered crust. Don't worry, the alcohol evaporates, so my minor kids here won't be drunken on beer or anything. All right, so here's what their pizza's like. Also very cheesy.
Oh, yes. More cheese.
Past 2 have been very cheesy.
This one
looks to
also is very
be
cheesy.
maybe even more cheesy
Oh my gosh, it's hot.
and hot.
Ooh, it's hot. Be careful, it's hot, it's hot, it's hot. All right.
Very hot. You saw the steam, maybe?
Yeah, look at this. More cheese. Covers the entire crust.
Kind of like a burger. Got the crust on bottom, cheese and sausage.
I could actually taste a little bit of the alcohol. It's beer and butter. Their crust has beer and butter. I think this is definitely the best tasting sausage out of the 3. It's just so thick. It's so thick.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's like layers on a cheesecake almost.
This crust tastes most traditional out of all the ones. Pequod's, their crust was more like a dried pound cake. Giordano's is more like a pie, like a thicker pie. And this one is almost like in between, it's really buttery. It's almost like a hardened croissant. Buttery though.
Crust is extra crunchy.
Yeah. And because of the beer and the butter, the bottom of it is a little bit, it's like crunchy hard. So good. It's not a cracker, but it forms this kind of like crispy.
I do see the oil, like you said.
Oh. Excellent combination of butter,
sausage and tomato sauce. And cheese.
What do you think about this sauce? It's not as tangy, right? Pequod's was middle. Giordano's, their sauce is tangy. It's kind of tangy.
This is much more marinara.
Yeah, this is more marinara tasting. Okay, so now that we've had all 3 of the pizzas, we want to give you our verdict. Okay, let's start with mini-me in the back. Okay, so kind of go through each pizza and tell me which one you like the best and why did you like it? Yeah, Pequod's.
So I think that all of them are good in their own way.
Yeah.
Like they all have one specialty at least. So Pequod's was obviously the crust. They kind of burnt it, and then it was like crispy and tasted really good.
Yeah.
That was the best part. Giordano's, I would say, was the cheese. the most cheese out of all three of them, even though they all had a lot of cheese, but the cheese was the best on Giordano's. And then Lou Malnati's had the best sausage. So basically, all pizza places may have like one specialty, at least.
So what's the verdict? What's the combination? You had to pick one pizza on your deathbed, your
If I had
last
to
meal.
pick one
What would you pick?
pizza, I would pick Giordano's. because
Giordano's. Okay, why?
The cheese was outstanding.
Yeah.
The crust wasn't bad, it was solid. And then the sausage was also maybe second best
Yeah.
out of all three. So
Yeah.
that would be, I rank that 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Which one did you like the best? And tell me why.
I'd say for the first pizza, it definitely felt the cheesiest at the beginning.
Pequods. Yeah.
Pequods. It felt like the crust added really well to the pizza, and until I got to Giordano's, I thought this was going to be the cheesiest one. But
Yeah.
of course, Giordano's actually ended up being even cheesier. which-
Definitely.
Well, I did like that. I think it was a little too much to handle at one
Yeah.
point. Like I was literally lifting the pizza up here just to eat all the cheese.
Yeah, yeah.
It felt like they had string cheese just packed
Yeah,
inside of
yeah.
it. So while Giordano's was good, I'd say the amount of cheese kind of ruined it just because it felt a little excessive.
Yeah.
I did like the crust on it though.
Yeah.
As for Lou Malnati's, definitely the classic sausage pizza. It's the pizza you'd go to if you're like a meat lover, or
Yeah.
you always want the thick layer of sausage in your pizza. Definitely a classic, as I said earlier, but I think for the final verdict, I'm going to have to go with Pequod's,
Yeah.
just because it felt more balanced. And while Lou Malnati's is definitely good, like I said, we always have it like every single year. It didn't feel as much of a pizza as Pequod's did. It felt just more like a sausage with
Yeah.
the crust on top.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still do love Lou Malnati's, but my final verdict is Pequod's.
Pequod. So here's my verdict. I love Pequod's. Pequod's is some place that like native Chicagoans go to. Again, what I liked is I liked their crust. Their crust was just slightly burnt, and it had this kind of crispy taste, but it didn't taste overly burnt. So if you like that kind of char grilled meat, it's like a char crust. Okay, so that part was good, and the sauce was good, and of course, the chunk of sausage, like a meatball sausage, that was pretty good. Now, Giordano's again is a classic pizza, something that I love, and as my two minis have said, it's filled with cheese. So if you're a cheese lover, definitely you would like Giordano's. But I thought it was a little bit too much. It was kind of hard to taste the crust, and although I like the pie crust, I thought that it was a little bit soft.
Yeah.
So, whereas Lou Malnati's was, you don't even have to get their sausage, but even if we just take the sausage aside, by the way, the sausage tastes excellent. But even if you don't have the sausage, what makes Lou Malnati's really excellent is that their crust, it's kind of buttery and burnt on the bottom, and it's got kind of like this. So I would vote for Lou Malnati's as my favorite out of the three.
Interesting.
So our final verdict is that we have no verdict, that it was a split decision. It was split three ways. It was split between Giordano's, Pequod's, and Lou Malnati's. And all three of us have tried this pizza many, many times, and yet our verdict has changed. So, one way you can look at it is that you can't go wrong. They're all really good. Now, if you have tried any of these, Pequod's, Lou Malnati's, or Giordano's, or if you simply want to tell us your favorite, please tell us in the comments which one do you like the best, and tell us why you like it the best. And if this channel has been helpful or entertaining to you, please subscribe and like and share it with your friends. Take care.